Good morning, fellow option traders. This is Jeff, and welcome to the Daily Scanned on Tuesday, March 17th, 2015. Yesterday was the 16th Empire State Manufacturing Survey, pretty much in line. Industrial production, pretty much in line as well. I want to take a quick peek here, though, at the housing market index and make a comment. My comment, okay, so first of all, we're looking, prior was 55, they were looking for a 56, and their range was 50 to 57, so this 53 is within range. But here's the comment: lack of first-time buyers. That I have seen that comment before. And if you haven't noticed, there are a lot of apartments being built, and when you have a high concentration of people kind of living on top of each other, you start to get some problems too. I mean, that's just, I guess, human nature, I guess. So I'm a little concerned about that part of our economy, or lack of economic improvement, I guess you might say. So are we on the road to recovery? I'm not seeing it. For today, we have housing starts, and we'll take a peek at that one the way that it looks right now. Pretty flat here. I mean, there's definitely a point of resistance here. This is a 5-month moving average, which is moving up, but we all know that once the value stalls, the moving average will rise until it gets to it, and then it stalls as well. All right, so that's it for today. For today's announcements, let's look at the futures. First, we'll take a look at Asia. Pretty bullish, I would say, overall. And in Europe, we're pretty, well, not real bearish, just kind of, hesitant. And they say, bull market closer to the end than investors think. Yeah, you could throw that up there just about any time. Black swans, etc., etc. McDonald's hit with worker safety complaints. Why most renters aren't willing to buy a home? Well, I'll be darned. They're not willing to buy a home because it's too much of a responsibility. I don't want to take on any long-term debt. I don't know what's going to happen. So that's kind of telling in itself. Either they're not willing to make the commitment, or they're afraid to make the commitment because of what they see around them. So it could be both, or a combination, or, who knows. But it ain't happening. There's not too many new home buyers, first-time buyers anyway. Okay, so enough about that. Let's take a look at what's happening here. Kind of flat right now. Gold is at 11.54. Oil's at 43.46. I noticed the price of gas is finally starting to drop a little bit. The dollar pulled back from 100, almost to 101, never quite made it, and the euro is recovering a little bit. I think it was down to $1.04 or $1.05 for sure, but might have been down to $1.04. And let's see how we're doing here. Let's open up all accounts. A little bit of trouble with this Russell trade, but I'm still not real worried about it. And I jumped in again on Netflix. I went back to the well again. It's doing pretty good. And we still have our SPX trade that expires this Thursday, because this is normal expiration this week, so this one's going to expire. Well, it will no longer be traded on Thursday at 4 p.m., and then it will actually expire at the opening print on Friday, so we will definitely have to exit this one early. I should be able to remember that without any prompting, I guess you might say. We jumped in on Netflix, like I mentioned, so we'll kick off the scan here, and we'll take a look at that when we get up to it. Alright, Apple is still in a setup mode. We were looking for a little bit of a pullback yesterday. Didn't get it. Everything opened up powerful with a big bang in the morning. Well, not everything. But anyway, the indexes definitely did. So it didn't give us our hook during the day. It didn't even give us our hook on the intraday. It just kept on going and didn't look back. So we're still in setup in Apple, and that's for a bear call. Alright, Amazon is next. What's going on with Amazon? Amazon, we are still in a setup on Amazon as well. In the weekly, pretty powerful uptrend according to the trend line, but definitely a rollover on price here. And person pivot, we're still down with that, so I'm keeping them on my bear call list. Oops, went down to Baidu. Badoo. Almost ready for a setup. And Chipotle, yesterday we were looking for either direction, and I missed it. Now here's a curious thing. Look at the stochastic here. That is weird. Look at this. Oh man, are we going to get... Oh, wow. Are we going to get a trend reversal here? I mean, at least this very short-term trend here. This is looking, I don't know, kind of weak, actually. Well, we have a hook up here. This is great. So, I'm throwing an alert here. This is when I'm going to want to jump in kind of heavy, actually, if it gives it to us here, because this is really nice looking short term, possibly reversal here. Looking pretty good for that. So I actually have an alert on Chipotle for a bear call, at least short term. All right, let's look at Costco. I was at Sam's yesterday, spent a lot of time there, competitor to Costco. Costco's just too far away. I mean, Sam's is far enough away. I wish they had more. So where we were living in Florida, as soon as we moved to a different location in Florida, they threw a Sam's up practically next door. But it still wasn't too far away, but I wish they had one closer to where I live here, because it's really busy where it's at, and so I'm sure they're happy to be there, but that area is so busy it's hard to even drive in. I only go there during the week. I have the opportunity, fortunately, to go there on weekdays during the day, so it's not too bad, but anyway. So Costco, undetermined. I can't really determine what this thing is trying to tell me here. We have an uptrend on the moving average, but we have a down arrow on the PPS, so nobody seems to be able to make up their mind about that. Take a look at the Dow from yesterday, and big open, and it continued to drift up after the first hour or 70 some minutes on that chart. Gold, hopefully this is support and it's not going to go down anymore. Only time will tell. And Google. We are in setup on Google. So this is I'm going to drop the intraday setups just because it didn't really work out that well. And if you notice, I've been putting as many as 8 or 9 days on these spreads, some of them even 10 or 12 days. In other words, going into the next week, just so I can get a little bit further apart and I can give them wiggle room, because I don't think I was giving them enough wiggle room with this. Am I up or am I down? Big bullish day, big bearish day. That's what's been happening. So I want to leave enough room for them. If they are in a trend, I want that trend to work rather than doing the short-term things, which has been kind of burning me a little bit lately. So when we get down to Russell, we might be able to explain that as well. So, anything that I do here now is, the first thing I'm going to do is look at next week's expiration, not this week. All right, so on LinkedIn, sort of going back to the original strategy, actually. So on LinkedIn, we're in a downtrend, never did give us our target. We'll be patient on that and wait. All right, NDX is in setup. NDX for a bear call. Netflix jumped in again on this yesterday with next week's expiration. It was about a 30 delta at the time. I have an alert set here just in case it moves against me. And this is the price where I got in yesterday. I added a nickel to the limit from the midpoint that it gave me when I originally created the order. So I added a nickel to it, and I had to wait about 10 minutes, but it did fire off, so we're good there. So we're in on that. We're still in on Priceline, and it is moving nicely, and we have an alert on it. Not going to put any orders in on it yet. And then here's the problem child here. But you can see, it gapped up at the open, and it just drifted sideways for the day. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. We have a hook down here. I might want to jump in on this again, actually. Even though it did turn up here. I might want to keep an eye on this for today as a possible bear call as well. SPX. There we go. We still have elbow room here. But also might want to, all the cash indexes are setting up nicely for bear calls. So we will wait for our indications here with some hooks. And last but not least is Tesla. I got part of it here. Don't know what's going on with Tesla. I had an alert set here yesterday. I think I was looking to see if it was going to move down here. It didn't. A little bit too choppy in here. I'm going to take them off my list. I got plenty of other stuff to play with here. As a matter of fact, there are 7 possible trades here for today. But the thing to watch out for is here. FOMC meeting announcement, which is tomorrow. So if they say, oh, no, we're not going to raise interest rates. But see, they're caught between a rock and a hard place, because if they say, well, things aren't going quite as well as we had forecasted that they would, so we're in no plans right now to raise interest rates. Then they're admitting that things aren't working as well as they thought. But if they should come out and say, well, things are going along good enough, we're still thinking about raising interest rates, well then that will have a bearish impact on the market. Probably. Depends on how they say it. Geez, they have to choose their words so carefully. I think there's a lot of politicians that should do that too, or at least be honest and tell the same story consistently. Oh, geez, there I go off on my platform again. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day and happy trading.